Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day fiancé.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality gates.
Let's love.
Cinderella has left the ball. Cinderella has left the ball. But as like you said before, it's actually she's left the prince's house after the morning after she fucked him, and the dress is all rumpled. And instead of stepping onto a shoe, she steps on a drug needle. Why would this woman flee without shoes?
I don't know.
I could not wrap my head around it. And that rat's nest just dragging behind her.
Was she carrying the shoes or her hair? I think at one point she was holding shoes.
I think she was holding both her shoes and hair. I think she was trying to run away. And so she figured, if I carry my shoes in this slum,
yes,
that it'll help me get away quicker from a man who's melting down because of masculine pride.
Yes. She does kind of seem like she does actually, you know what I hit on what she kind of reminds me of, and you might take offense to this. She does, so I'm sorry, but she does remind me, the frailty of her and the way she looks and the long hair. She does remind me of when the last unicorn becomes human form.
That's not right. You take that back. No.
I see it.
You're incorrect.
I'm just like that tree with boobs just saying, come here, let me take care of you.
Now that's accurate. No, you're wrong.
This is toe.
This is toe. I did
Five,
also say, oh my God, it's just like Wayne said. She looks like a streetwalker. The prophecy was fulfilled.
Yeah, when you're holding your shoes, walking down the street, it's not a good sign.
And that rumpled up princess dress that looks like, someone said that the jewelry was Lana Del Rey, and it looked like it was like a Coke necklace.
Yeah,
God, her style. It's bad.
It's bad, but I do like her, actually.
Yeah, your picker's off. She's a fucking mess.
No, she's a mess. But I don't know. I thought she had some redeeming things. What's this episode called? I didn't write it down. Did you? Or did we not get it yet? I don't think we got it yet. This is episode 8.
I can look it up. Where's my phone?
No. Oh God, no. Here, I'll just do it.
Oh, I have it. Yo, I promise we do.
No, we get these episodes. Y'all, I'll talk to you a little bit. We're remote but code. We're actually remote but local. We're both in New York City right now, but I'm staying at a hotel I paid for, and Poodle's staying at a hotel that his gentleman caller set him up with so he could get a deal.
Mistrust, she wrote.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mistrust, she wrote.
Mistrust, she wrote.
It does sound very
Yoda,
vaguely Yoda-esque.
Yes. Anyway, we're in New York City. Be prepared for B90. We will be doing a Broadway corner. I saw Goodnight Oscar last night with Sean Hayes. We're both going to see Sweeney Todd today. We're very excited. Yes. And Josh Groban is back.
Oh, wow. Annalie Ashford's still out?
the last news, she's still out, but Josh Groban came back, I think yesterday. So we're
Oh, wow.
going to get.
I hear his understudy is incredible too, so I wasn't worried.
Oh, honestly, I really wanted to see Anna Lee more than anyone, so I'm a little bummed, but I'm still excited to see Sweeney.
Jenna DeWall is fantastic. She's been around a long time.
So anyway, we're excited, and YouTube Live, our new boy. If you're not on the $15 tier, our YouTube Live in New York City, when Poodle came out with the Rockettes, everyone lost their mind. They just lost, and the fact too that Poodle was just wearing pasties. That's really what everybody was surprised.
They were so jealous of me.
They were, and that went. So you missed it. You missed it. That's the.
I was the shortest Rockette.
You were. Yeah, we've known some Rockettes, and they're all very tall.
They're all like 5. I think you have to be. Is it 5'10", 5'11"?
I think 5'10", 5'11", and you have to have disgusting feet.
And what?
No, because they're all dancers. They all have dancers' toes. They're
and really long legs.
Horrible knobby toes that just look like Have you ever seen dancers' toes?
I think you're sourcing something that I don't have an experience with.
I remember when I went to the Oklahoma Arts Institute at Quartz Mountain, the summer camp that I'd go to for 5 years.
Oh,
and I went, and I love this girl. Her name was Milena Govich. She was beautiful. I think she sings now. She could sing. She could act. She played the violin. She was beautiful. Her name was Milena Govich in Oklahoma. She had long, dark hair. She was gorgeous. I loved her. I told myself I had a crush on her, but really I just wanted to be her. Yeah, and I thought she was so beautiful, and she was a ballerina. She took ballet. One day
what didn't she do?
I know she did, and she was really smart. I think she ended up getting a degree in like science and became a doctor, and was like, "Fuck all that other shit." Anyway, we were once sitting outside the pavilions, just talking about life, and Oklahoma Arts Institute, and just we're on a break. And she took off her shoes, and I recoiled in fear because I don't like feet. It was terrifying, and that's when I learned.
When you saw her weakness.
I did. I saw her humanity, and she even said she's like, "Oh, so from dancer feet." And I went, "Dancer feet? I don't know anything about dancer feet because my mama wouldn't let me take tap lessons from Kathy Capshaw, even though I tried."
We need to move on.
That's fine.
Hopefully I have the do not disturb sign on, and I hear someone going. Doop, 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 doop. Hopefully
they won't knock.
No, they won't. But I'm saying it's right next door. They're knocking. All right, y'all.
Well, you are in a hostel.
There's 4 to a room here. Y'all in Europe. Oh God, I stayed in some hostels. I did that. And like one of my friends, we tried to stay as cheap as possible. I told you this story. We stayed in an open air bell tower for $8 a night in Prague because we fucking ran out of money.
Was it freezing?
It was in August or July. So the answer is no. But
didn't really sleep well, did you?
I did not sleep well because it was open air like camping.
And did the bell go off? That would have been bad.
The bell did not ring. I think it would have deafened all of us. Anyway, God, the places that I've slept, I'm so surprised I never got bed bugs.
Did you ever have sex in a hostel?
So it looks like she noticed she could sit on a needle, step on a needle, and he just takes off. Because she says,
take off.
I felt betrayed. I always kept him in mind, and he wasn't honest about the honeymoon money. So y'all remember, he literally spent their honeymoon money on fucking cryptocurrency.
On crypto, which they're having a conference right now in Denver. Hope it went well.
There was a lot of wraparound Oakleys.
Yeah, lots. But this is why I like Holly, though. It's interesting because she puts on. don't get me wrong. I think she's got a lot of stuff to work through, and just y'all, that hair is a metaphor for the trauma that she's carrying around. That's what it is.
We have established, by the way, it is extensions. Because there was, you could actually see it. But my question still is, why in ever loving Christ are your extensions that long?
She wants attention. That's it.
They must be so heavy.
She just wants attention.
And they're so ratty.
They're very ratty. But she says, I feel betrayed. And she said, it's not a big deal about the honeymoon. It's just that she lied about it. So it's interesting. Like when you look at her, you get this feeling she's going to be superficial. She's going to be like shallow. Actually, I got to say, it worries me a little bit because she's so empathetic in talking to him and feeling for him. I feel like
I do agree with you there.
I feel like she's so understanding, even when she talks to him later, but I feel like she's going to completely diminish and poo-poo any of her own feelings and boundaries.
I agree. I think like she can't make the conversion.
Yeah.
You know, like the 3-point conversion in football. Is that something that happens?
We're in a weird area. I don't know. What do you mean
I haven't slept a lot, y'all.
Is that where they're fucking you with their penis and then finger fucking you in the mouth and then it feels so good you just shit yourself and that's 3 points? What is it?
Touchdown!
Touchdown! Go! Or is it just when they're like banging you so much that
this is getting me flushed.
You have an orgasm, but then also smoke comes out of your ear, so it's 3 points.
Like a cartoon.
I don't know what a 3-point conversion is, y'all. And you know what? I don't care.
Maybe it's not 3-point. I don't know what it is. But it's like, what I'm saying is she can have the feelings, but she can't ever make anything happen. She is so without agency. And it's always been like that for this person. Anyway, I wrote she actually does look like a streetwalker.
She does. The producer said, you know, she's like, what kind of person would leave their fiance in the middle of the street? But he comes.
This would be it for me. This would be it for me if someone.
Well, it sounds like he came back very quickly.
It says 30 minutes later.
That's okay. I guess I've been by men.
No, if you left me in a place that I did not know anyone, and you if you left me, I would say that's it.
30 minutes is nothing. Give me 3 hours, and then I start to feel a little lonely.
Yep, that tracks. So she runs to him like nothing has. It doesn't matter what's happened. She hugs him, and he's just said, "I just needed to calm down." And he said, I'm over everything. He even says, when I was dating Holly, she told me she'd never be with anyone who was struggling financially. And I went, oh, fuck. This whole relationship is going to go up in flames because of your pride and her ignorance.
Oh, I think they're going to stay together.
Really?
Yeah. I think she's committed to him.
And she's had so much shit in her life that this is the one person.
I actually think he's probably the nicest guy that she's dated.
Wow. Take that in, y'all.
Because, again, he's
and the most together.
Yeah. Because, to be honest, like, I mean, goodness, we're comparing him toward Ronald and people we've seen on Below Deck. But he isn't, like, seems kinder than any of those people. He's still dealing with patriarchal bullshit that's been ingrained into him.
We met a podcast movement. We met a Zimbabwean man, and we were talking about the depiction of South Africans and Zimbabweans on television, especially Below Deck and other shows like this. And he's like, I'm not like that. You will see so many South African men who are not like that, but they choose the worst, grossest, toxic masculine examples. He's like, there's a lot of that, but there's plenty of people like me too. It's interesting. I think those are the kind of people who want to go on the show, maybe.
Yeah, as y'all seen, there's some news about Gary on Below Deck. It's not looking good. Don't think he's going to be back on.
I can't imagine they'd edit him out.
Well, they're already filming this season.
They're filming this season.
But I mean, after this. But we'll see.
But how do you, just so you guys know, trigger warning, sexual assault. There's a producer who is accusing Gary of kind of, I read the article and I need to go back and fully look at it, but basically like keeping her in the room and shutting her and keeping her in the room,
and trying
detaining
to keep
her.
Yeah. And then she spoke to production and they didn't do anything about it.
Yeah. So which I can clearly see.
Oh yeah.
But I don't, my thing is, I don't know what they would do. I don't know. I guess she's made a specific allegation. She didn't say if there was any contact. But I don't know what this does. I don't know how this changes any rubric. It's sad, but I guess I'm just being hyper realistic and cynical.
Wow. Let's move on to something more cheerful. Let's talk about Wayne sobbing.
When they were talking about this, he says, "I kept this from you that I was doing poorly financially because I didn't think you would want to be with me." And he kept saying, "I'll be all right. Don't worry about me."
I think the thing that I think she's going to be okay with, she told him, I don't want someone who's financially struggling, but I think she's going to be upset about the lie. But even when she sits there, she's sitting there looking at him crying. And, she said, again, something that shows emotional intelligence. She says, I can tell he's feeling emotional and he doesn't know how to express himself.
Yeah.
It's not about me. And I went, oh my God.
That did kind of lay me out. Again, she can make these observations, but I don't know if she can produce fruit with them, Yeah,
that's a good. I don't know. There's something about
y'all,
I'm rooting for her a little bit.
The craziest thing is to watch this man who has no emotional skills at all. He's melting down from shame.
It's what happens when we don't teach men how to feel.
Exactly. And he can't even, you know what it is? It reminds me of? It reminds me of Ethan from Plathville.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot like that. It's a lot like that.
And so he's melting down from shame. She can't watch it because she's in complete empathy spiral. And he sees her watching him and feeling something, and that makes him feel worse. And he starts crying, and he keeps saying, "You're a part of my life, not my business, because my business," basically, y'all, he's saying, my business is a measure of me.
Well, and so maybe that's a plumber thing. My dad did too.
I think that's a lot of men.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Put it on his gravestone. He sure did.
What was it again?
He had his plumbing logo, and it says, "Here lies Chelsea Ray Marr, son of Hazel, father of Brian and Matt." And then his plumbing logo, and it said, "He worked first and played later."
Boy.
And we buried him in an OU urn. God, I was pissed about that.
Brandan and Mary.
Trigger warning, Brandary, suicide. Just so you know, for this section, there's going to be some talk of that. We're like a roller coaster of joy.
You know what I realized?
This actually was a good episode. It was a good episode.
You know what I realized, and I can't stop noticing it now? Maybe someone's brought it up before. Brandan talks out of the side of his mouth consistently. And I promise you, if you watch it now, he kind of goes to the right side, or maybe it's the left, but kind of talks like this the whole time. Like he's got a ventriloquist dummy and he's drinking water. He kind of looks like a ventriloquist dummy.
You would know from your time on stage. You would.
Yeah, me and Frank used to that act when you'd he'd fist you and you just go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You played in dark rooms all around West LA.
I think that's the first time anyone's ever made a ventriloquist dummy sexual.
I don't think it is. Maybe. Maybe. What was I going to say? I do want to remind you, speaking of sexual, y'all, we want to remind you that September is going to be fully loaded. Because you brought up Plathville and Ronnie. We got Welcome to Plathville coming back. And all these sissies are coming at me because remember I said once that Daddy Plathville kind of looks somewhat attractive. And now he's posting pictures of his new body because he works out with Micah all the time. And he's fucking ripped. And sissies don't understand what's happening.
It's still awful.
It's short-circuiting their brain. Mark my words. They're going to show Daddy Plath shirtless. And you're going to go.
No. I'll be repulsed. No, thank you. No, thank you, Slender Man.
We've got Plathville coming back. We have After the Altar for the last season of Love is Blind is coming back. And then at the end of the month, we actually have Love is Blind coming back. We've got Selling the OC. Yes. Selling the OC is coming back.
And that's all on the $5 Reality Gaze Plus tier, and then Plathville is on the $8 tier.
Yes. So
whole
why
enchilada.
not get the whole enchilada where you can get it commercial free for your pleasure?
Oh my God. I love taking the whole enchilada.
You do. So do I. Actually, I like it even grosser. I want a chimichanga.
I don't know what that
smothered
means. Chimichanga implies frying it.
That's really just a fried burrito, and at El Chico's they would layer it. Remember, they would do the chimichanga, and then they would layer it with queso.
Good God! How did you shit for a week?
You didn't.
But you enjoyed it.
Oh, you enjoyed it. You felt terrible.
I don't know how I ever ate food like that. It's too rich for me.
Oh God.
Anyway, y'all. Hashtag 40s.
Hashtag 40s. Let's talk about Brandan. Okay.
So she's having a panic attack. Now, we do find out, I don't know if we've heard this before. She's like, she has asthma. Does anyone have an inhaler? I like it that Brandan actually has the sense of mind not to freak out.
He was, well, I think Brandan has been in stressful situations before.
Me too.
Yeah.
And now he's seeing her freak out and total panic attack. It probably, y'all, probably when she gets really, really upset, the asthma goes into a free fall. But
I'll never forget. We had a Pioneer Day one time. Jessica Conway had an asthma attack. She didn't have her inhaler, and all they had was a bag. We thought she was going to die out right there. It was so scary. It was terrifying.
Was there something that precipitated it, or?
Well, yeah, we were doing the land run day. So she was running on the land to stake her claim. That's what they did. And she was dressed in that Pioneer outfit, so it was hot.
What?
Well, you dressed up.
You had to dress up in Pioneer outfits?
Well, yeah, the people that staked the claim. If you were Irish, you could be Irish. The people that were Native American were Native American, although I don't think they were included.
What did they do on Land Run Day? Just stare and look while everyone took their land?
Pretty much. That's what they did. I don't think they do Land Run Day now.
Okay. I don't want to ask a lot of questions about this. Did anyone ever say, maybe this wasn't the fairest way to do this?
I don't think that was. I think in the late 19th century.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you when at the
time,
teachers.
No, it was great.
When the teachers, the students, and no one said, "Hey, do we think it was weird that the lands that were the indigenous people, we ran and we put signs on it?"
No, I thought it was fine because they got free crayons and I didn't. So in my childhood brain, I was like, it's all fair.
Whoa.
Now, I know that's not true now. I know that, but that's what I'm telling you. That there was.
It's so weird. I guess it's because I grew up in a completely different mindset about Native Americans and land. And I think it's because my mother is part Native American, and we went to so many of like the sites and state parks where it tells you the history of the Trail of Tears. And my mother wanted to make sure we knew that literally people took the land from the native people and shipped them off, and they died on the way, all the way to Oklahoma.
No, we knew all that. We knew all that. We talked about it extensively.
And no,
but there's also this. It's like I just knew so many people who were or are Native American.
Yeah.
It was, it's kind of like people on the outside looking in maybe see more of the atrocities, but people that are on the inside are kind of have been just adapting to their life. And I think they are more aware of it now. But back in the 80s, no, there was not.
No, it makes sense. I'm just saying it's hard we came from just completely diametrically opposed backgrounds.
Well, also though, we're living in a capitalist country, and in the 80s there were no Native American casinos. So tribes had no money.
Yeah.
And that has changed now. And I think that's why like a large portion of Oklahoma is now deemed sovereign land. All this is changing because that WinStar Casino is the most popular fucking casino in the world. And they have so much fucking money to make change.
It just seems that it had to be done by casinos.
Hey, I say get what you can get.
I get it too. Let's move on. I will still maybe I'm trying to think about if there was anything in the horrible traditions that we did that I just participated in. I didn't think about. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, maybe. So she's doing her inhaler. She's calming down. That's when Brandan does his own talking head and says, I feel like I could have confronted her more gently. And he said, she made this promise she won't do this to me anymore. And he starts crying. And that's when we find out that when he met her, he was in a very low place of his life. He was done with everyone.
His mom was using.
He tried to take his own life.
And y'all.
And I went, there you go.
Brandan
that's when they met.
Cries so, even ugly crying.
It's pretty.
It was so pretty.
He's a pretty
I'm not
crier.
into him at all, but damn, he's a pretty crier.
I'm not into him sexually. I want him to come over to my house, and I just want to make him like on a Sunday afternoon, and I want to make him iced tea. I want to make him some fried chicken with some mashed potatoes. I'll probably add like a little greens or like maybe
this is getting weird.
I just wanted him to have a fried okra for sure because that takes time. The good kind.
Why do you want to make food for him? What is that?
I want him to come over and eat and then just take a nap on my couch while I clean and just know that he feels, because that was so comforting to me when I was a kid. You just felt like you were safe and sound and protected. I want that for him.
That is well-meaning yet strange.
Well, that's what I want. And then he wakes up and I say, baby doll, do you want a cake? It's a shame that I'm not having children and I don't want to have children, but I really should be a grandmother. I'd be a great grandmother.
You're more of a grandmother than you are a father, a mother. I'm more of the mean aunt.
Yeah, you're Aunt Jane.
Who's gonna take you out to like get your first drink?
Mama, do I have to go out with Aunt Jaylene again, Mama? Last time I ended up in jail. God, she's your aunt, my sister. I don't want to deal with her.
It's worse. Aunt Jane is my mother's sister-in-law. It's not her sister.
Oh,
yeah. My mother did not have a sister. You can tell.
Yeah, you can tell. That would not have been a good relationship. I'll tell you that right now.
Because your
grandmother would have done what she did.
Men. she has very little use for women as well.
She hates most people. And probably your grandmother would have done what my grandma did and pit her daughters together. And that's why Aunt Peggy and Aunt Darla aren't friends anymore.
Probably. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
So anyway, so this makes sense. This is why I think this solidifies to me Brandan and Mary Brandary will always be Brandary for a long time. I think they're going to, because they both, what is interesting to me, this looks horrible to us and this looks painful and it looks like
it's
something
normal
egregious.
For them though. It's normal.
I'm going to say it's better than what they've experienced.
Oh my God.
For Brandan,
fuck.
This isn't as painful or hard as Brandan to be with her as it is to go back to his old life.
Again, take that in, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Later on, he says, when Mary reached out, it was literally a life changer. I clung on so hard to her. I love her, and that's why it hurts, because it brings me back to the place where I'm not good enough and I'm trying to hold on. So she, when she's disappointed in him, or she judges him, or she doesn't trust him, he spirals because of his own previous trauma.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing happens, just in a different quadrant. She spirals because someone's going to leave her, because everyone she loves leaves her.
So they both feel like trash.
Yeah. God, y'all, this is the most unhealthy relationship.
This isn't two sparrows in a hurricane. What is this?
I said this before. This is two birds in a microwave. I think two sparrows in a microwave or something like that. Two finches in a microwave, because they're gonna going at each other like finches do.
Finches are mean.
They're so mean. Someone's going to come at us and say, my finches. Some Carl's wife is going, Carl, those boys are wrong. My finches are wonderful. And then one's like picking out the other's eye.
My mother always got angry when they came, because they would scoot away all of her bluebirds.
Yeah, they are aggressive birds. Not as bad as blue jays are.
No, those are terrible.
Anyway, so he goes
they don't
back
know
to
how
her.
much more. Keep going.
So he goes back to her and says, I can't stop. She says, I can't stop myself from overthinking. I try.
Go to therapy, Mary. Go to therapy.
Part of me wishes that this, and I know this is not what this show is, because this show is strictly documentary style. The crew tries not to get involved. It's not like Married at First Sight, where they're actually helping people. That's not what this show is. That's kind of what Last Resort is attempting to do. And
the third episode is good.
Oh no, I'm still not watching it.
Kim messaged me. She was like, "This is getting dark," and I went, "It is, because real shit is coming out."
From who?
I told it. I called it.
I'm interested.
Some real dark shit is coming out for Jovi and Yara.
Oh no!
Yeah. It's like we're gonna have. We're going to do, Kim and I are going to do probably September 1st. We're going to record something. So we'll have something out that will be out on our RG Plus feed and on their Patreon Supercast feed.
And I'll be cheering you on from the sidelines.
Yeah. And Kyle will be drunk flipping us off.
I'll probably be doing that too. That's more like it.
That's more like it.
I don't really cheer people on.
No, he doesn't really cheer.
I kind of make fun of people.
So Brandan comes back and he's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yes." And he's like, "I love you. I trust you." And
is there anything you want to say to me? And he's just she's like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "She didn't give me the right answer." This is kind of weird, because I don't.
It's not weird to me, but go ahead. I'm wondering what you're going to say.
Well, it's kind of weird because he says, "Is there something else you want to say?" I think I would be like, I don't think this woman can even go there. She can't say she trusts him. It's impossible, because as soon as she trusts someone, they leave.
Yes. Yeah. I wrote, Well, what you just described was her experience. What I wrote is he says, I don't. She said, "I'm sorry, that's not the right." She needs to say that she loves me and she trusts me. And he says that line, I have doubts. I have doubts.
I have doubts.
But
the fabulous final line from the John Patrick Shanley play and the film with Meryl Streep.
That is, they say the line and then you gasp.
Yeah.
There was a moment like that in Goodnight Oscar, actually, as well. Not as well written as that play, but still, it was great.
So I just want to say, the thing that triggers him when she says, "I can't trust you," the very thing that triggers him is what makes her up. Is everything that makes her up.
Makes her up. And what he doesn't realize, too, her inability to trust him has nothing to do with him.
I know. That's the one thing I wish I could scream at him right in his ear.
Both of these people need couples therapy. They need individual therapy. They need group therapy. But this shows too.
They need you cooking them fried chicken, and
they do macaroni and cheese. That's what I would. Brandan would love some mac and cheese. I'd make it homemade.
It feels sexual.
It's not. Not sexually attractive. If he needs a hug and needs a little love pat on the leg, I do that too. I just want to just nurture him.
Feels weird.
I just wanted to. Mary too. I cook for her too.
Can we talk about Shekinah?
Whoop whoop whoop. Oh well, hold on. There's one you forgot. There's Mary. The next day, she
I
says,
forgot about this. I'm sorry.
I feel ashamed because of my past, and she brings it up again. She says, so she goes and shows him her high school, which are her happiest memories in her life. And I'm going, that tells you something.
That means life stopped in high school.
Yeah, y'all. If high school is your happiest moment, it means you're emotionally stunted. And I know some of you just went, whoa.
I'm going to say this right now because everything feels like it points to some type of sexual abuse. Here.
I 100% think she's been sexually abused.
Yeah, it feels like that because everything got arrested. Got arrested. She didn't go past 14 or 15.
Yeah.
There was just something about her going to high school and saying, "These are my best memories," because y'all, she's blocked out everything else.
She has.
Yeah. This is such a dark. Daddy's Box was dark, but we're past that.
Past Daddy's Box.
But
also she's terrible. So
yeah, but this storyline, both these people are extremely, extremely wounded, and neither one of them is really wanting to do bad things to the other.
No.
Jesus.
So he's like. She said, I know things are iffy, but things are good. And Mary says, I hope you understand it's hard for me to trust. No matter what I do, I'm scared. But she said, but I will try harder to trust you. And she said, you're perfect and you're the man that I want. And that's all Brandan needed to hear. He starts crying again. He's just saying, thank you. Thank you.
We've put another Band-Aid on. Next week, we're going to rip it off.
Because they broke.
Yeah.
Whoop,
Shekinah.
Whoop, whoop. New couple alert.
Sarper.
New couple alert. Y'all, here's a hint. Whenever they premiere a couple halfway through the season, it's not going to go good. It's not going to go good. I don't think.
This is definitely the Yolanda slot.
Yeah. I mean, we don't, but although isn't Toe going to the end of the year, so maybe not.
That's true.
That's true. I just thought about that. We don't know how many
it's
episodes
August.
It's going to be. But isn't Toe supposed to go to like December? We don't know, y'all. We keep hearing all
but
the
it's
shit.
1 hour. So, because it was like, it's supposedly they're going with the model of the Toe the first season where they did 1 hour. And it had like 22 episodes. And now a lot of times they will go, and if you Toe first season basically had if you combine them together, they basically had 11 2-hour episodes. So
there you
this
go.
could potentially have
Potential.
This could potentially have 30 episodes in the season.
Well, we meet Shekinah, and I appreciate the selling sunset music. Going, bad girls doing bad things, causing big dreams.
Parties.
That's a big Birkin bags and a Birkin bitchin' bag. Whatever.
I'm not an escort. I only have lips that look like one. It's Jessica Rabbit. Y'all, this woman is typical West Hollywood. Like, she's 41 from LA.
She looks young. She's got near a wrinkle on her 41-year-old face.
But these lips, come on. It's too much.
This is what I kind of like I like a lot of this cast in tow because they picked flawed people, but you understand because we first meet her, y'all, and you're like, oh God, she's in LA. Y'all, she says her job is that she's like, if you go to a party and the vibe feels right, it's because of somebody like me. She basically puts pretty people at parties. And I know some of you are thinking, this isn't a job. No, this is a job in Los Angeles. This is a job.
I know a woman who did this job.
Did that woman also do an OnlyFans?
I think she thought about it.
Because I feel like you can't help but wonder if, because everything is like they know these people that get pretty people to go to these parties. It's not just models; they often know a lot of porn stars. The lines these days with OnlyFans and people who are doing kind of OnlyFans light are even more blurred. So Darcy,
and also
look at our queen, get on my OnlyFans and love me.
There's a lot of blurring between the lines of women who enjoy the company of older men and men with a lot of money and may or may not go on dates with them, but that doesn't mean they're escorts, but they hang around like that. The lines are very blurred here. I think it's telling that the men who are around her look kind of like all of them smell like they all have a certain amount of money, but they are dressing and behaving like they have about 10 times as much money they have.
Well, they're all Euro trash, or at least that's what they look like.
Well, Frenchie, who's named Dan, the gay one who was with the
Josh.
feathered hair, yeah.
There's always these. Do I think I would probably? I don't think I would have a good time with Shekinah, but do I think that she loves gay men and would love us?
Yes,
probably, and we would. But what's interesting to me to her is that as soon as I heard her background and that she was raised Amish by her parents, who originally weren't Amish, they just went, "Hey, this sounds fun."
They were Amish cosplayers.
Y'all, if your parents choose to go Amish, your parents are crazy.
I think that is not a choice that you undertake lightly.
No!
You just all of a sudden grow the beard and the suspenders.
And the fact that she wore down her parents to get them to leave the Amish lifestyle, and I wrote, good for her. No wonder she's doing all this. I went, good for you that you were as a woman probably got so much bullshit put on you. You want to get tits, you want to get lips, you want to have hair, you want to be out there showing your body. Good for fucking you.
And what she's doing, obviously, is she's living her life as some kind of rewriting that her childhood could not be.
Who isn't?
Exactly. And so, I mean, as long as she approaches it healthily, and she's an esthetician, by the way, because of course she is.
Her skin looks good.
And she admits, she's like, the longer I've lived in LA, I've been there for 13 years, the more LA I've become. And she's very LA.
She's very LA.
And so basically the friends are like, how's your man? She's like, he's amazing. Our conversation is amazing. And the Frenchie's like, Fodal. You have been with a lot of assholes.
Oh God. They do bring up, all of her friends bring up how many shitty men she's dated before.
And I could see it all. And I guarantee you what she's looking for, you guys, and this is probably obvious to everyone. She's looking for someone who can give her someone of means, definitely. But she's looking for a mixture of someone with means, but also someone with the physical attributes she likes, so they can be a power couple.
Y'all, it's Darcy. It's the same thing of Darcy, except for I actually think Shekinah maybe has her shit more together emotionally than Darcy does.
And she's not as fun as
she's
Darcy
not as fun.
is.
No, who is? No one is. She's the queen.
So, anyway, but now, y'all, she's met Sarper, who is Turkish and lives in Istanbul. He's actually 43. The first thing I saw is, I think it was because he was wearing highlighter and makeup, he looks like an actual living G.I. Joe figurine.
He does have that look. Yes, I was going to say he looks
carved out of plastic.
His skin, I thought it was kind of, if a serpent came to life a little bit, just the way it's stretched. But I think G.I. There actually was a G.I. Joe character who was a man snake. I'm going to have to go back and look at that. Remember that one Cobra Commander?
Cobra Commander!
Oh, no.
That's not a bad Cobra Commander. Snake Eyes, attack them!
No, Snake Eyes was a good one. Snake Eyes was a G.I. Joe.
Tobax, Sabot! Y'all, those twins fucked each other. Definitely. Just like the Property Brothers do.
Wow. 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 We need to move on.
What's it going to do? One of them is married now. The other's just going to die of grief.
So
anyway,
she says that she went to Turkey and downloaded a dating app. I'm sure she went to Turkey.
I want to see you in my dreams tonight.
I'm sure she didn't go to Turkey for plastic surgery at all.
Not at all. Hashtag Bodrum.
Hashtag Bodrum. And she actually liked that he had the highlighter. She thought that was so cute. And about 2.5 months later, she went back and she said he is thoughtful and caring and their sex life is good. And she said, and my connection with him is so great that I'm willing to leave LA to be with him.
Now, what did you think when she said there was a little bit more information revealed here? This woman is definitely getting a ton of money in alimony. Because for her, it's easier to move to Turkey because my daughter's off in boarding school.
Yeah.
Let's just say this.
She married rich the first time.
She married well. She married money. She married money the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Wendy, her friend Wendy, says, well, her track record has been iffy. And one friend is like, well, he's not possessive. And Wendy's like, well, he wants her to stay a certain way, makeup, hair color. He wants her. And she's like, Sarper just wants me to look more lean because there's a trainer who's been working with me. And he says he would prefer me this way. I'm not going to make judgments on this right now. Because he's a personal trainer, and so maybe those lines are a little blurred. But hair color, that is weird.
I mean, my mother, she would the man that she considers the love of her life. He would liked her in certain dresses and things like that, and she liked that.
But your mother likes to do that for people.
No, she kind of doesn't now. She does it for herself, but she never had a man who was interested in how she dressed. She really liked that. That's why she was sad when he died in front of her face.
Oh, when she saw the light go out of his
eyes, yeah. But that's
one of the craziest. If you go back, I don't know where it is. Christina has it on our Instagram. But that was the first time I heard that story. And it was one of the darkest things I've ever heard, and I was visibly shaken by it.
Kind of like when I just told the story of Fred Collins on our Lalu, not this week, but last week.
That, though, was funny because of the ironic way it ended.
Anyway, Southern stories, y'all. But so I want to say some now. Is Sarper doing that? No, just judging from the G.I. Joe-ness of him, you could see where he could be a little controlling.
Yeah, I agree. But then she goes to her French friend, Dan.
Dan, I don't know. This felt a little frauded, but he's basically like all into her, wants to get up on her shit. And she's like, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. But
We have been through a lot. I really still don't love you.
I know.
I think we should be together.
I know I did coke off your dick once, but I do that with all my friends.
I want to kiss you and all of a sudden like Pepe Le Pew.
My lips are so swollen. You can't kiss me right now. Sorry.
She also says he's the perfect catch. Smart, successful. He's like, we have a strong emotional connection, and she's like, but it's more of a friend connection.
I'm gonna tell you now, because Sarper has a big dick.
Oh yeah, it's huge. And he says, we already tried to date, but she said it didn't work for me. And I wrote, this is some brutal friend zoning, but something is happening here. I flashed forward to the end of the season where this woman decides that Dan is the guy for her.
That'd be great.
That was what this was shaping up for me.
I think that when she meets Sarper and they're together, it's not going to be good because I don't think
he's going to be controlling.
Yeah, and I think that Shekinah seems like she doesn't take as much shit as our Queen Darcy does, and that she'll get out of it sooner.
True. Shall we talk about Dog the Bounty Hunter / Esmeralda the Fortune Teller / Miserable Bitch and Yohan?
Let's do it. Y'all, there's not too much to them, thank God.
No, when things get practical with them, I don't love it because she's not as awful as, and I only want to watch it when she's awful.
It's true. They're going to the fertility doctor, the one they went to a year ago, Dr. Rojas.
I've been trying to balance my hormones naturally, but that hasn't worked. I've been taking my pH, not going in the river.
She's been putting a fucking coconut on her vagina when she goes to sleep.
Just taking dried fish and rubbing it on her legs.
Yes, she's been doing
everything.
Yes, taking rosemary and like using it for deodorant and all that shit.
The doctor says, well, we need to find someone similar to you to do the egg donation. And I wrote down a couple of suggestions.
Oh, okay. Someone similar looks like you, yes.
An angry badger.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe a mean-spirited Komodo dragon.
Put her on that island. That's perfect.
Yeah. And then just, I wrote down hammerhead shark.
Great.
Similar temperaments.
Similar temperaments, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's perfect.
And Yohan asks...
You're right. Her eyes do kind of roll in the back of her head when she's yelling at Yohan like a shark.
Yohan says, will the baby inherit anything from her? And he's like, well, it'll have her blood, but no, it won't be genetically hers. And I went, that's a win, y'all.
What you want, Yohan? You don't want this kid to be like her.
This is the best thing that could happen.
He's like, I wanted my child to have her nose and her eyes, but maybe not her temperament.
Boy.
Anyway. Just saying his wife's a miserable bitch.
Wasn't this funny when the doctor said, blonde or brunette? She's like, well, it's gray now. No shit, honey. That blonde is not your hair.
Yeah, we knew that.
And she's saying that that's natural, those curls, and how long it is.
She's saying the extensions are natural. Yeah, that's what.
Anyway. And and Miserable Bitch says, I care a lot less about what she looks like and more about what she does for a living and who she is. Which is rewarding at the same time elitist.
Yeah.
It's interesting. That's always her. There's a world where Danielle is right about a lot, but there's also the same world where she's horrible.
I don't know if Danielle could fully love a child that wasn't from her. I just don't know if she has that in her.
I think she could. Because she would convince herself. This woman's convinced herself of so much in her life.
Poor Yohan. He's been through so much. I just want him to come over to my house on a Sunday afternoon, and then I wouldn't make him fried chicken. I wouldn't make him macaroni and cheese, but he could fuck me for about 3 hours.
Yeah.
I could comfort him that way.
I think that would take you out.
Yeah.
What a way to go.
Oh, boy, he'd split me like a pumpkin in October.
Wow. So they are they're wondering how long this could take. 15 days. And with her age, they say it's 65 to 70% success.
So the doctor's like, we got to do it now.
And they also say that it's $11,500 to have all this plus the donor.
That is cheap. I mean, I know that's still a lot of money, but that's cheap.
Because we've known gays who've spent so much money.
And straight here in California, straight people just so much money.
Yeah. I think, and she's like, but before that, we need to have a hard conversation because I'm not done haranguing him.
Do I agree with some of her points here that Yohan is a big kid?
I do too. That's what I'm saying. There is a world where a lot of what she's saying is right. It is just how she says it and how she makes him feel small every single time.
She makes him feel small and stupid. Like
Yeah.
his way is a terrible way. So do I agree with her? Yes, on some points. And then also, it's the privilege of her being in America growing up and raising a child in America. In different countries, things are prioritized different. And you did move all the way to another country to avoid $70,000 in parking tickets. But still,
Easy pass.
Easy pass. Sorry. Still, you moved. So
and bankruptcies.
I'm not saying you have to acclimate to everything, but you do need to understand, in his community, Yohan is seen as a provider. He helps his sisters and brothers with their kids.
Exactly. And he even says this is she can't accept that there are different ways of raising children and that not one way is the wrong way and one way is the right way. And then she's like, I have never seen anyone go to bed at 9 o'clock when I'm at your house. And I'm thinking maybe that's because you're over there and people are having a good time and they're just trying to keep their spirits up so you won't dampen them. Honestly, there is I think there is a cultural difference, y'all, because there is, if you're in a movie theater and you see and you're like, this is a 10:30 movie and someone's got a baby.
Yeah.
It is a cultural difference.
It is. Just walking like on Times Square last night around, it was like, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you see people with their babies out in like infant out in Times Squares. Times Squares. I said squares.
Times Squares.
I was judgy of them. I was going, I would never have an infant baby out here with all this light, noise, sound.
It's a different way of parenting. Definitely.
It's a different way of parenting. And it works.
Anyway, so he says, you don't like the way my family raises children. He's so offended because the way she says it.
He's judgmental of everything about him.
You think if a baby isn't dead, it's fine. I think a baby needs spirituality, education, sport.
Again, Maslow's hierarchy of needs might be good for you to read, Danielle, because you are talking from privilege.
Well, it's everything she's saying about coming to the DR to live her eat, pray, love, and live like a rich white lady on the beach.
Yes.
But she just wants the same life she had in the US, and she doesn't have the self-awareness for it.
She doesn't want the same. She wants the same. I get what you're saying. She wants this. Yes, she does want the same.
She wants
life
the same creature comforts
without any of the stress.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
That's not going to happen. Life is stressful no matter where you live.
Oh, I hate her.
That's the show.
That's the show.
That's it, everybody. That's your NYC toe.
NYC toe.
NYCTO, you can go to realitygaze.com. If you want to hear this show commercial free, you can subscribe to the $8 tier, the whole enchilada tier on Apple subscriptions, on Supercast, or on Patreon, which is all under RG+. Also, we just want to say thank you and we appreciate y'all. We call these people lonely hearts because aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love in all the wrong places?
Yes. And if you are dating a man who's wearing highlighter, you may want to get his phone and see if he has Grindr installed first. And then you can call us.
Call us. Because Poodle might have fucked him, so you better call Poodle.
My number's in there.